Guys, welcome back to some Gilded Guardians. Today's video, we're going to be looking at the leaderboard and what is to come. So looking at the last 4 weeks that we've been in Gilded Guardians, overall, the gameplay has been incredibly smooth. I played a lot of different games through my time, through my many years, and overall, I am pretty impressed by this game. Now, of course, in the first 4 weeks, we did have leaderboards. There was a lot of questions, a lot of really clarity that needed to be done with the leaderboards to really show exactly where you're at. Week 5, we know, which was this week, is essentially a bye week, meaning there's no leaderboard. So all of the rewards that we're getting out of the arena, the rush, and the endless are going to be just that out of the boards. Now, coming up on the 19th, which of course is yesterday, this is going to be back to the leaderboards, and I want to go ahead and cover this announcement that they did share with us. Now, this is super important because when we look at this, the leaderboard rewards and the path ahead. Now, if you're like me and you've been playing Guild of Guardians since the release, I was able to get a significant amount of Guild of Guardian tokens. Now, of course, that did require me to buy the team that you've seen right there, and I've slowly been building them up. But what I did essentially was with those Guild of Guardian tokens, I hopped over to Erie Store. I actually bought a bunch of the Ascension seals, bought a bunch of heroes, took those heroes and did the radiance for them, and then sold them over on Treasure Trove. And through selling them on Treasure Trove, I was able to get T-Rock is how I got him in the entirety. And again, I'm starting to see the ability of actually making a little bit of really the Guild of Guardian tokens on these leaderboards and getting a little bit of return. Now, of course, if you're interested in Token Trove, I have a link down below, but let's get into the path ahead. Now, again, I'm going to give you my take on this. So thank you for joining the Dread. As we see, the global launch was incredible. It has done well. A lot of players were kind of questioning again how we were going to go forward. So here are some things that we learned. And again, the team is really taking a lot of this back. If you're over on Discord, if you're in a guild, a lot of conversation. So they're working on ensuring the Guild of Guardians token, utility token is liquid and strong, and the leaderboard rewards stay valuable. This, of course, is the play to earn aspect. Now, there are a lot of people that have commented on my videos that as a free-to-play player or a play-to-earn player that didn't put any money into Guild of Guardians, they were still able to get Guild of Guardian tokens. They were still able to get Ascension seals, which was pretty cool based on the ability to essentially earn through the play dynamic. And they took some of those Guardians, resonated some of the Guardians that they were using as free-to-play players. So again, that is pretty cool. Now, simplifying the leaderboards. Now, this was huge because of so many different game modes, because of the leaderboards, depending which game mode you're in, what level of game mode that you're in. A lot of people were very confused. So they're streamlining the system to make it easier for new players and old players alike to go ahead and navigate. And of course, some rewards require opt out of distribution for compliance. So again, we're striving to keep most of the rewards in the game, which is essentially, again, that play to earn aspect. Stability, of course, is the key. The leaderboard and the distribution of Guild of Guardian tokens was a little bit off. There were some questions. There was a lot of bug fixes over there. And of course, that came in combination with the fair play, looking at what accounts, were multi-accounting, which were botting. That is always a huge problem that we see with the play to earn games like this one, is the botting and also the multi-account running, where literally if you're running a ton of different accounts, you can fight accounts versus accounts, and it really doesn't count because you can go a little bit higher on the leaderboard or a lot higher in different game modes, depending on how you're running this. And of course, want to make sure it's fair. Now, looking at the path ahead, this is what we want to get into. Over the next 2 weeks, there will be significant improvements in the in-game leaderboard system. These changes will be implemented and tested by July 3rd. So we got about another 2 weeks again before these are up. And then, of course, they're working towards the future where the most reward information and distribution will be accessible and streamlined within the game. So this is going to be very cool. Now, reward info details about the upcoming leaderboards are going to come. They are also, once you've earned, you'll be rewarded by a 4-day verification period. After this, they will confirm that it's legitimate, and they will be automatically distributed to your in-game account. So very cool. So we're going to see the distributions a lot faster. Again, once they get this streamlined. And of course, guys, this is a massive game. This is a massive drop. And overall, it does take a lot of checks and balances when it does come to the cryptocurrency and also making sure that everything is legit. So let's look at these leaderboards and let's see what you can earn. For the period of June 19th, now now is June 20th. It is the first day of spring. It was almost 100 degrees here in Michigan, but overall June 20th is the first day. Now June 19th to July 30th, Guild of Guardians rewards will be based on monthly global leaderboards, which means you are eligible for the Guild of Guardian tokens if you're coming in here and you're farming. So you can see right here, rewards and distribution schedule. So there's 1.5 million Guild of Guardian tokens. That is right for the endless mode, 750,000 for arena, and then 750,000 for the boss rush. And you'll notice the eligibility. With the endless mode, 10,000 players are eligible. The arena is 5,000 and 5,000, which essentially what that means, looking through this, the endless mode, if you're ranked in the first 10,000 or essentially 10,000 all the way to rank number 1, you are going to get Guild of Guardian tokens. And again, we're going to look in just a minute at the breakdown that we actually have. In arena, as long as you're scoring in the first 5,000 or better, you are going to get Guild of Guardian tokens. Boss rush, again, if you're in that top 5,000 or better, you are going to get boss rush tokens. And of course, when we look at the total rewards that are available in here, they are doing the exact same thing. So scoring June to July 8th is going to be the distribution. So if there's any questions when you're getting your Guild of Guardian tokens, where they're at, where's my rewards, this is the timeline, guys. I don't know how many questions that I've gotten between Discord, over on YouTube, everywhere else. This is the distribution schedule that they're sticking to. Now, when you start looking at the total monthly, and you'll notice right here, endless, these are the minimums. That is something really important to note. The minimums for the arena, it is the minimums. For the boss rush, it is the minimums. So looking through here and looking at this list, let's say again, where you're based, you're in the top, let's say 1,000 players, you're going to get a minimum of 231 Guild of Guardian tokens, which again, you could take those, you could move them over to Erie Store, which is exactly what I did. And based on that, we were able to buy some of those Ascension seals. Again, even if you are a free-to-play player, you can get some of your radiance on your heroes and the enlightenment of the heroes just through regular gameplay. Now, of course, the better you score, you can see, even if we go, let's say 1,000 is 231, but you start getting in the top 500, you're at 324, and so on and so forth, which does reward the biggest players. And that, honestly, this is where a lot of people kind of get lost, is not only the biggest players, but the ones that have put really the most money into Guild of Guardians. If you're running, let's say, an Enlightenment 15 with a Radiant 10 hero, you're one of the absolute top players. And of course, you're going to be rewarded just the same. Now, when I kind of think of this, and a lot of you know if you've caught my channel before, I do play AFK Arena. I played AFK Journey. We played Dragon Air. We have played so many games. And when it comes to these games, when it comes to literally any game, there is a pay-to-win aspect of every game that I have ever played. Mobile game, even thinking World of Warcraft, a lot of other games, there's a big aspect that is the pay-to-win, and it will always be that way, guys. When it comes to games, when it comes to mobile gaming, there is a really cost to running the games themselves. There's always going to be, of course, the cost of having a staff, the programmers, all of the data, the people who are going to verify the data. There's always a cost when it comes to a game itself, which again, when you start looking at, it's kind of the greed aspect where, if they're kind of overcharging versus kind of undercharging, the game in itself cannot be entirely 100% free to play, because again, there is no generation. The Guild of Guardians token really wouldn't have a lot of value. But overall, like I said earlier, when you start looking at these leaderboards, the rewards are going to come back, and the rewards are going to come back in a big way. Then, of course, there is the leaderboard page right down there. Now, the other thing that I want to look at, of course, coming up here is looking at, they broke out the economy. They went to the Ascension seals. This is one that I want to look at, just kind of looking at how this is kind of broken out and looking at the Ascension seals itself. This is the other thing, is when you look at the Guild of Guardian tokens, which I know when you look at Erie Shop, they are a little bit more expensive right here. But if you're using your Guild of Guardian tokens, or if you want to buy seals, I recommend do not buy them in game. Buy them over on with your Guild of Guardian tokens, because you'll see approximate discount to in-game purchases, 30%, guys. You're literally getting 30% right off the top, and they're giving you additional bundles when you buy the chest of seals and the mountain of seals. And then, of course, when you look at the total savings, even here, guys, you're saving $85. You're saving $20. Even getting a handful of seals is you're saving some money. Now, when you combine that with the earned Guild of Guardian tokens that we've seen, it really does make a big difference on how many seals you can get out of here, and also utilizing those seals to get those Radiant Heroes. With the Radiant Heroes, like I said before, I actually sold a bunch of Radiant Heroes, and that's how I got Tier Rock out of these seals that I essentially earned. So again, it's kind of a giant cycle when it comes to Guild of Guardians, which is always awesome to see. And like I said before, guys, when it comes to this game, I am really liking it between the way that you craft, and this is something that you cannot really discount, and I think a lot of players might, when it comes to crafting. And again, coming from other games, crafting in other games was kind of a side effect. Really didn't have a massive hold within the game itself. When you look at Guild of Guardians and when you look at building out these Guardians, even right here, picking up 120 EXP scrolls, the honestly probably one of the biggest and most important things within Guild of Guardians itself is the ability to build out gear as fast as possible. This is probably one of the biggest game changers that we've seen within this game. When you start combining these, when you start going through, the adventure mode, when you start getting a lot more deeper into content, guys, building out gear is huge. Even here, we have 2 tier 6 weapons. We are finally into the tier 6. I'm going to build one more right here. Let's see if we can get another legendary. And let's see, we got a roll. It went to blue. It went to purple. That's okay, because that's right. We crafted, and you can see pretty good here, but we did craft 3 of these tier 6 weapons together. If the items in here are identical, it is going to give me a tier 6 legendary, which gives me accuracy, not too good. Hydrous resist, the magical resist, pretty good over there. And as you can see, a pretty decent amount when it comes to the attack rating. Now, of course, when we start looking at the Guardians and looking at the damage that they're doing, a lot of them right off the bat, like here's a tier 5, and I have a Terra Guardian, and I do also run Cyrus right here. We're gonna have to see kind of looking at the gear, because I wanna make sure that my tier 4s and my tier 5s, because looking at the triple ability here, essentially the survivability, armor penetration, I'm not really too worried about, because looking at the difference between the two is looking at 66 with 7 enlightenment on there versus 51 right here. But you'll notice right off the bat is right here, we're at 14,000. We're already at 11 right here. The stats are a little bit higher over on the side. But again, looking at the armor penetration, I'm not really too concerned with how much damage Cyrus does. I'm really concerned about the magic resistance and how much damage he is not going to take. So that is going to make a big difference. So I might go, again, take this tier 4, just recycle it, move it to this tier 6. And again, even though, look, accuracy at 11, evade is at 11. This is at an orange, which accuracy, of course, is going to hit a little bit more. We can go ahead and drop this one on, taking out the gear that I have in my inventory. And this is, of course, one we're going to go ahead and recycle in here, just based on the tier 4, and then having the ability to hop into Cyrus and level up the tier 6. Now, it is not always going to be the case that it's that much better to build it out, but when you start building it out, remember, we're doing 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15, meaning that, boom, we're going to go ahead and level this up to 3. Doesn't give us enough to level this up to 9, which, of course, we're looking to get a couple of these a lot higher, but that took the attack to 19K, which the other ones was at 15. And then, of course, magic resistance is what we're looking for in here, because with that magical resistance, again, we want the hero to live. We want the hero to survive. So not only doing a little bit more damage through what he has, but also making sure, again, that we have the survivability of this hero within a lot of different game modes. So, all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.